But today is a change of plans. We are going on the arch.
Banks of the Mississippi River, there have been a distinct decrease in the number of trains and boats coming into St. Louis beginning in the 1890s. In order to address that, they wanted to revitalize downtown. To do that, they needed to get the help of the federal government to level the neighborhood that was here, again a warehouse neighborhood, in order to build a park in a museum. In 1935, the United States government declared this land part of the National Park Service, calling it the Jefferson National Expansion Memorial. We've been a national memorial, a national monument, and only since 2018 have we been a national park. But there's no time that we haven't been part of the National Park Service, going all the way back to 1935. This is important because that means that for 30 years before the construction of the Gateway Arch, we were part of the National Park Service without our iconic Gateway Arch on this land. The next important date in the history of the arch is 1947. That's when Finnish-American architect Eero Saarinen wins a contest to determine what is going to be the focal point of the park that is on this land. That is going to be a memorial that is shaped like an arch. 630 feet tall, 630 feet wide, 192 meters. The Gateway Arch runs out of money 3 times and it almost runs out of steel twice. But it is completed after 18 years. It is constructed and finished on October 28th, 1965 at a total cost of $13.1 million. That's a little bit over $150 million when adjusted for inflation. Now the arch is made out of those remarkable 142 individual stainless steel triangular sections. Those sections are again made out of stainless steel with an interior of structural steel, but in between the 2 layers of steel is concrete. That's because the welds that hold the arch together are not strong enough to hold it completely. So we need concrete, lots of concrete. 307 feet of concrete in each leg of the arch. 307 here in the north leg, 307 in the south leg, 614 feet of concrete in this building. To put that into perspective, that is the height of 2 statues of Liberty. We have 2 Statue of Liberty's worth of concrete in this building alone. That is truly a lot of concrete. Now I'm going to show you a brief film about the 1960s, the decade that brought about the Gateway Arch. You may notice that we're a little obsessed with the 60s from our Flower Power decals that you're standing on. Those decals do remind you which one of the tram cars you're going to be taking up and down today to the top of the arch. But let's go back to the decade that created this monument, the 1960s. Elevator and Ferris wheel. I will try to briefly explain how each one of those 3 things are working together to get you to the top of the Gateway Arch. First off, you're going to be entering into what is very similar to a traditional Ferris wheel car. Instead of being on a singular pivot like a traditional Ferris wheel, however, your car is attached to a track. That track is pulled along by a combination chain pulley system. So I need you to imagine briefly that you are on an escalator. Click, push, click, push, click, push while you are standing. This is going to be very similar to what's going to be happening above you when you are on your tram. You will click and push, click and push, click and push, but the whole tram system will be moving as one to get you around the corners of the Gateway Arch. You will go no faster than 3.86 miles an hour. You will not be on your side or upside down. You will be seated in the tram during the whole of the process. Then, during straightaways, you will be pulled up by a set of pulleys like a traditional elevator. So there we have it, escalator, elevator, Ferris wheel. In just a matter of moments, you're going to hear a noise from the top of the arch. I'm going to explain what that is in another way that this experience is like riding in an elevator. Until then, let's talk a little bit about the trip to the top of the arch. You're going, we're not going to talk about that yet, because here is our sound from the top of the arch. That is the sound of the counterweight. The counterweight is going up one half of the tram car.
Look at all the tiny little ants. They're so tiny. And all those tiny little ant people. Look at those little ants. Hey, look, little ants. Oh, there's little doggy ants. There's doggy ants. Oh.
Folks, just a couple minutes left. Make sure you get those last pictures. Okay. Yeah, I know there's a really big conference there. Yeah, so yeah, they did a big one like that. My daughter did a cheer competition and a small cheer competition, so they used the flat part.